flashing lightning, thunder and lightning. Hello, folks. I'm a sorcerer.
And I'm a witch.
And today we're going to read some spooky, not so spooky, Reddit stories. Tales of depravity.
And the reason why we have the green screen showing for a moment is because my hat is green, so I wanted to show you my hat. It disappears, like Brian will show you that in a moment, but it just disappears into the...
Yeah, I was like, oh, you can wear your hat for a second, and now look, it's gone.
Just gone. So...
It's disappeared. No more hat. So that's why Amber won't be wearing a hat for this.
Yes.
But she is dressed up as a witch.
Yes, I am a witch. I did want to show you my hat, which it was an old Target hat, like I got from the Target dollar aisle, and I took it apart and sewed some fabric on it, and so.
Yeah, and she's wearing a nice witchy costume.
Yes, my dress has a little crescent moon pendant on it. So
yes.
You can't really see it.
It's very witchy.
It is.
Take our word for it. We'll turn you into a newt.
Well, it matches Brian nicely because he's got like this gray velvet here with the black, and then this is black velvet, so with a little silver charm. Yeah. So we're all matchy match, kind of.
We are. Oh, this is the run over story that's on the screen right now. That's not the first story. We might get to that last story. We'll see. But let's get started. Our first story is titled, Am I the Jerk for Giving My Sister-in-Law Baby Formula? I'm going to start my post by saying that I don't have kids and I have no experience with babies or motherhood or children. I'm 18 and beyond being around them in group settings where at least one of the parents and a ton of other people are around. That's it. Just for context to my post. My brother's wife had a baby 17 days ago, and I didn't go visit them yet, but my brother-in-law and sister-in-law sent me some pictures. My brother said our cousin Rachel was around a lot because my sister-in-law is having trouble breastfeeding, and Rachel is a big believer in it and is helping her. I offered to help them if needed, and on Saturday they asked me to go to the grocery store for them because no home delivery had an open spot. When I dropped off the food, I was shocked at how bad my sister-in-law looked. She literally looked like she was the Walking Dead. Barely awake, not showered, and she was actually crying because she was so frustrated. It actually scared me how bad she looked. At first, I didn't want to butt in, but it bothered me so much that I went back to the store and got a can of baby formula. I figured it would give her a break and my niece could eat. It was even worse when I gave it to my sister-in-law because I said it was no big deal if my niece got formula. It wasn't a problem. My sister-in-law broke down and I was honestly scared because she was weeping. Like in the movies when someone dies kind of weeping. It's not funny. I'm laughing, but it's not funny. No one told her it was not okay to not breastfeed. No one told her it was okay to not breastfeed. She felt so guilty because of Rachel butting in and no one telling her that formula was okay. I actually ripped my brother a new one because he sat back while my sister-in-law suffered. There was no way he didn't see how bad she looked. No offense, but she looked terrible. I got my sister-in-law to shower after my niece ate and fell asleep, and I changed the sheets on the bed and told my sister-in-law to sleep while my niece slept, and I said I would get more baby formula. I thought that I did the right thing because my sister-in-law actually stopped crying, showered, and slept, and the next 3 days she looked better and didn't cry again. My niece gets full. My idiot brother smartened up and told Rachel to stay away and everyone else, especially her parents and sister-in-law parents, to butt out. They take turns feeding her so they can both sleep. My parents and Rachel are furious at me. Sister-in-law was in agreement with Rachel and left me an angry voicemail full of swearing. Rachel basically had sister-in-law holding the baby while topless 24/7. And my dumb brother sat there and didn't help with the baby at all. Rachel breastfed all of her kids until they could walk and talk and never had any problems, but my sister-in-law obviously did. My dad said that I overstepped and that I shouldn't have butted in. Normally, I'm a big on mind my own business, but this time I was scared after seeing my sister-in-law on Saturday. Since I'm not a mother or baby expert, I have no idea what it's like with a newborn. I'm second guessing now after I feel like I did the right thing because everyone is angry at me and said that I should have minded my own business. Well.
Not the jerk.
Of course they're the jerk. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not even going to joke about this one. No, OP, I would say that they're not the jerk here. This is such an unreasonable expectation to put on this poor woman that she'd be able to breastfeed her child. She wasn't able to produce milk like she needed to. And, the baby was suffering for it. She was suffering for it. I just don't see how anyone thinks that this was reasonable to keep her topless 24/7 while she attempts to breastfeed the child.
Right. I mean, there's nothing wrong with bottle feeding.
Yeah.
I was a bottle-fed baby, and,
Look how she turned out. Fine. Everyone just say fine.
I mean, if it's supposed to knock IQ points off, I still get a PhD in physics, so, I just like to point that out when anytime people are like, but the bottle feeding will make you dumber. It's like, no, there's no meaningful evidence for that. The fed is best, and that's really all that matters.
Yeah, I mean, I think there are certain benefits to breastfeeding, but also I don't think the benefits are so overwhelmingly in the favor of breastfeeding that if you can't breastfeed, that you should feel bad for it.
Or that if you don't want to,
or that you don't want to.
Totally up to the person in question who's feeding, whether they want to do that or not.
Exactly.
Our next story is, am I the jerk for not wanting to get my girlfriend an expensive engagement ring? I'm a 26-year-old male, and I've been with my girlfriend, a 26-year-old female, for 4 years, and we've recently been talking more and more about marriage. Although my girlfriend grew up relatively well off, for the time I've known her, she's been pretty low maintenance. She's never cared about designer brands, rarely buys new clothes, and the jewelry she owns was gifted to her. I have a decent job now, $80K a year, and I've been saving for a while, but growing up my family didn't have a lot of money. My girlfriend and I have always seemed to be on the same page when it comes to saving money. I assumed she would be fine with a more affordable ring. When I started looking into rings, I discovered moissanite rings, which look similar to diamond rings but are much more affordable. I was looking at rings in the $1,500 to $1,800 range. When I mentioned this to her, she insisted she wanted a real diamond ring and sent me links to a bunch of diamond rings that she liked. The prices ranged from $6,500 to $10,000. I told her that I wasn't willing to spend that much. She seemed genuinely mad and said it wasn't that expensive. We got in a pretty big argument over it. I told her that it was ridiculous to ask me to spend that much and that I thought she was more reasonable than that. She said I was being cheap and that I could afford it, and that I was basically saying she wasn't worth it. I told her no one is worth a $10,000 ring.
That's a good way to have a conversation right there.
Eventually, my girlfriend said she didn't care and I should get whatever ring I wanted, but she's clearly still mad, and I know this is going to be an ongoing argument. I'm a bit frustrated because this seems out of left field. I've always known marriage is super important to her, but I didn't realize she'd insist on a diamond ring. So I talked to my older sister about it, who, despite agreeing diamond rings were stupidly priced, sided with my girlfriend and said if I could afford it, she didn't see what the big deal was. She added that my girlfriend has done so much for me and I was being a jerk about it. What my sister means by my girlfriend doing so much for me is that she was really supportive when I was in a serious car accident 4 years ago. I broke multiple bones and required a few surgeries. Although where I live, most healthcare is covered, I was unable to work for a while and had expenses I wasn't able to pay. I'd been dating my girlfriend for only 6 months at the time, and she was really there for me. I couldn't pay my rent, so she let me move in with her for free and helped pay for a few expenses for physical therapy I needed. She also helped me get a job with her uncle, who was the VP of an insurance company. It was an entry-level position, and I had a business degree, so it's not like I was unqualified. Obviously, I've thanked her for all that she did for me, but it's not something we talk about much. I don't think I'm obligated to buy an expensive ring because she helped me out a few years ago. But if my own sister said this, I'm guessing my girlfriend must feel the way I do as well. Am I the jerk here? Edit, this post got way more attention than I expected. I've definitely reconsidered my stance. I'm going to talk about this more with her. Thanks for all your help.
It's an interesting one.
Yes.
Because, I mean, while diamond rings are, expensive, and sometimes, it's difficult to swallow that cost. I think that if you can afford a diamond ring and your partner really wants that, I don't see what the problem with that is. I mean, everyone has their own levels of comfort with finance,
Right. Well, that's the sort of thing is like everyone has their own things they're invested in. And like, so maybe he would want like, I know it's not going to be $10,000, but maybe he likes, gaming systems or watches or something.
Yeah.
Like everyone has a thing that they really like and really would want. That might cost more money than the person would want to spend on that themselves, but they'll do it for their partner. So like, I mean, my engagement ring isn't super expensive or flashy. I'm gonna grab it. It's just right behind me. But it was something I wanted, and so Brian got me a nice ring, and so.
Yeah, well, I think at the time, like what we paid for it was like what we could still afford it, but
right.
it wasn't like it broke the bank or anything like that. But we weren't, also making the kind of money that this individual is. And
right.
I mean, with his family being well off, I guess we're going to go into the whole phone is super bright mode now.
Yeah.
So anyhow, yeah, I mean, I just don't think that I think that this is something they can afford, so why not? Our next letter is titled, Am I the jerk for refusing to take my brother to school after he made jokes about one of his classmates? My brother, 15, goes to the same private school that I attend. It's full of a bunch of spoiled rich kids whose entire identity is surrounded by how much money their parents make. If you don't have a car by 16, you get bullied without a doubt. So a friend shared a TikTok of her sister and posted it, and it was a group of boys bullying a kid waiting for the bus. They were mocking him, laughing at him, and one pointed someone off the camera, threw food at the kid. After a few plays, I recognized two of the kids, one being my brother. I told my parents, and they brushed it off, saying, he's a teenage boy. You know how they get. Do we know how they get? When my brother got home, I told him what he did wasn't right, and he walked away laughing. I told my mom, as long as he continues to bully people, and they do nothing about it, I won't take him to school anymore. This will mean that he will have to take public transportation because my parents leave too early for work to take him to school. My parents are livid, saying that I'm a jerk for being so unreasonable and insensitive over a joke. Am I in the wrong here? Alright, so we just kind of read through the updates a little bit, but they weren't really worth reading. They were just more or less filling on kind of superfluous details.
Filling in some of the minutiae.
Yeah. So, what do you think here?
Not the jerk.
Yeah.
I mean...
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. I was going to say, I mean, the brother did something really rude and uncalled for, and the parents are doing nothing to discourage this kind of behavior. So this seems like a natural consequence for his actions.
Yeah.
Like, you bullied a kid for taking the bus? Well, now you get to take the bus.
Exactly. I mean, I think it's just desserts, really. I mean, I can't think of a more fitting use of karma than this. What goes around comes around. So, yeah. No, I don't think OP's the jerk in this situation.
All right. Our last story is, am I the jerk? I got mad at my wife for eating all of my food. My wife is a 23-year-old female, and I'm a 27-year-old male, and we have been married for 3 years. I work as an automobile engineer, and she's a stay-at-home mom. We have a 2-year-old daughter. My wife is also 3 months pregnant. My wife always takes my food when I'm eating, and that always annoys me. I also cannot have her food since she's not a vegan, whereas I'm vegan. I have tried telling her about this before, but she says my food tastes really good. So I brought home an extra vegan portion for her once, but she told me not to bring extra portions because it's too much food and that the fridge gets full with her leftovers all the time. Today I got takeout for both of us when I was returning from work. She had chicken lasagna and I got a vegan chicken dish made with jackfruit. I came home, got cleaned up, and went to have dinner. I saw that she had finished eating without me because she was hungry. She said that she tried some of my food and liked it a lot, so she ate all of it and left her own chicken lasagna in the fridge. I asked what I was supposed to eat, so she told me to make myself some ramen. I got mad at her and told her I'm not hungry anymore and went to sleep in the guest room. She came to apologize to me, but I said that her apology won't feed me. She cannot cook anything for me since she feels nauseous at the smell of most things. I usually cook all the meals at home ever since she's conceived 3 months ago. At 1, I do all the laundry and all the cooking. She does the cleaning. At 2, my parents raised me to be vegan throughout my childhood and teens. When I moved out after college, I tried to eat meat and had severe digestive issues for a week. The doctor said that my body lost its ability to digest meat and meat products because of going without it for so long. Am I the jerk?
So, well, this is an interesting one. What do you think here?
Not the jerk.
This is a odd situation, and I think that, like, it's interesting that she likes his food a lot, but then she doesn't want, like, an extra serving or portion of food brought home. And, like, I understand, like, if she likes his food, but if I were him, I would just, against her,
wishes, bring an extra
food in. And then that way it kind of resolves any issues, because then, like, if she doesn't want to eat it, you can eat it tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's the thing that seems to be so baffling about this. Like, it's understandable if she wants to sample his food and she thinks it tastes good, but because she, one, doesn't order this meal for herself, and two, is unwilling to let him order extras for her, that seems really sus. It seems more like she's hoarding the food or something.
Yeah, well, I think also her being pregnant might have a little bit to do with this.
It might, yeah. He doesn't say that this is something that started within the past 3 months. So if it has just started within the past 3 months, then that would probably be the thing.
Yeah.
But if this has been going on for the whole length of the relationship, it's probably something else.
Yeah. Well, it's either like a power move, she just likes to eat his food.
Right.
Or it's just one of these things where she just likes his food a lot and doesn't want to admit that she likes it so much.
Yeah, well, her suggestion when he's like, what am I supposed to eat? Is like, oh, go make yourself some ramen. Like, I ate all the good food in the house. Now you can go make some ramen. It's like, really?
All right, folks. That's all the time we have for today. Thanks so much for Amber for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you enjoyed our costumes.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put a spell on you.
And what are you going to be for Halloween? We'd love to hear.
Let us know what you're going to be for Halloween. Whatever it is. If you're dressing up or not.
These are not our Halloween night costumes either, so we'll have to reveal that later.
Yeah, I don't know what our Halloween night costumes are. Amber dresses up as a lot of things, and I often don't remember what she wants me to dress up as.
I'm going to keep it as a secret for now.
Oh, I remember now. Okay, you've been working on this craft for me for a while. Amber was probably pretty disappointed that I had no idea what it was.
Hey, it's fine. I was like, okay, I'll be a surprise to you then.
I just lose track of things. But thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all on Friday. Yes, today is Thursday that you are watching this.
Happy Friday, Junior.
Happy Friday, Junior.
And happy almost Halloween.
And almost Halloween, yeah. So stay safe out there, and I'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.